Hi, this is Suhem Parack, developer advocate at Twitter. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about the sample stream endpoint that is part of the new Twitter API and show you how to stream and get tweets using this new endpoint. The sample stream endpoint delivers a roughly 1% random sample of publicly available tweets in real time. With this endpoint, you can identify and track trends and global events and monitor sentiment. The streaming endpoint delivers tweet objects through a persistent HTTP GET connection and uses the OAuth 2.0 bearer token authentication. Although only 1% of tweets, the volume of the sample stream can be very high, and your client should have a high volume capacity. Tweets delivered through the sample stream endpoint do not count towards the monthly total tweet cap. In order to use the sample stream endpoint, you will have to first create a project in the developer portal. Then create an app. This will give you the bearer token that you can then use to connect to this new endpoint. Let's take a look at how we can use this endpoint in Python. So I have stored my bearer token that I will use to connect to the sample stream endpoint in the config.py file. I will import the packages I need for this demo. So we will be using the request package to make the API calls, and we'll be using this config file and also the JSON package. Then I will go ahead and create a method that will make the HTTP request using the URL and headers as parameters. So we will be making a GET request to the sample stream endpoint. And I will assign the response to this response variable. Next, I will check that if the API call is not successful, that is, if the status code is not 200, then I will raise an exception. Otherwise, for each response line, I will load it as JSON and then print the tweet objects. Then I will create the main method that will call this connect to endpoint method that we just created. In the headers, I will use authorization and pass the bearer token from the config file. I will specify the URL for the sample stream endpoint. And while true, I will connect to this endpoint. Now when I run this program, and I'm using this IDE PyCharm to run it, you can see that the response is the tweet object, but it contains the tweet ID and text only. What if I want more fields for a tweet, such as the context annotations, so that I can understand contextually what the tweet is about, as well as the language of the tweet? We can specify those fields using the tweet fields parameter and by specifying the additional fields that we want. Now when I run the program, you can see the lang field and the context annotations are available in the tweet object. Now instead of printing the tweet object, what if I want to explore the different context annotations for tweets? For this, I can check if the data object in the JSON response contains a context annotations object. If it does, then for each of those context annotations, I will print the domain name. Now when I run this program, you can see the different domain names are printed that you can further filter on and get tweets of interest to you by domain. When consuming real-time data, maximizing your connection time is a fundamental goal to promote both data reliability and data full fidelity. When disconnects occur, it is important for your client to automatically detect the disconnection and handle the disconnection and reconnect quickly. To learn more about the sample stream endpoint, check out the documentation page for it. So I hope you now have a good understanding of how to use the sample stream endpoint. We look forward to seeing what you build with it. Thanks for watching this video. Follow us on Twitter Dev and on the Twitter community forums.